Carolyn Conley here to take you through the week on HRTV. Trainer Chip Woolley was this week's guest on Across the Board and explained how his life has changed since winning the Kentucky Derby.
You know, in this game, the Kentucky Derby obviously is what everybody dreams about. Did you ever allow yourself to dream this big?
You know, you always dream of winning something like that, but as far as in this case, we never, on the way there, never at one time did you say, what if I was to win this thing? You know, it just never really, it never was out there. You know, you went to be a participant, to be part of it, feeling like your horse was the best he could be, and you know, hoping for the best, and it just happened that it happened for us, you know.
But your background's there. It's where you've been training. What was the reaction like from everybody back there that you had won the Kentucky Derby?
Well, it was amazing. By the time we'd got through the press conference that night, I'd missed like 200 phone calls and 150 messages or something on text. So it was really great. But going home, it was really a warm welcome back home. The fans turned out in droves to see the horse, and it was really, really something special to go back home and you know, have people, your home people, be a part of it. You know, it's something they've never experienced there to have one of their own back home from the Derby, you know.
You've been on the road for the past 5 months, and majority of it has been getting around on crutches, and we've seen you do nothing else besides that. How's the foot doing? You don't have the cast on anymore?
The leg's getting better. It's been very slow, and there's still some major breaks in it that haven't healed, but the lower part down where the bottom screws are, it's all pretty well healed there, but the upper part still hasn't healed, and we have to be really careful about like not stepping wrong on it, you know. So, but I'm walking a little bit at home at night and stuff, trying to get strong enough to leave the crutches, but they're wanting me to be very careful.
Well, based on that X-ray, I think we'd have to turn you out to the Kentucky Horse Park.
You're going to get some time off after the Breeders' Cup.
Or maybe old friends out there in Kentucky.
Saturday's Goodwood was full of surprises, with an 18-to-1 shot beating the highly anticipated Derby winner, Mind That Bird.
Heads a turn for home in the Goodwood, parading, strikes the front, down the centre, Colonel John in the white cap coming home gamely. Gitano Hernando is next, Mind That Bird is running on, but not today. They come for home, Gitano Hernando, Colonel John on the outside. It's going to be Gitano Hernando and Kieran Fallon to win the Goodwood.
Were you happy with your position early?
Yes, sir. I was very happy. I was right where I wanted. You know, the only thing I didn't like when I picked him up and asked him for about the first 16th of a mile, he took me there. But the more faster he started running, then he went to struggling, you know. And that's not like him, you know. I don't know if it's just the surface, you know, the more he goes to trying, because he tries hard, you know. By the last 8th of a mile, he gives you a hell of a run. And I think he just goes to struggling, you know. And that's why he wasn't finishing like he should down the lane.
Another new surface, and I know Chip was mentioning earlier in the week that he thought, you know, it had been a while before the West Virginia. Do you think on the positive side, this could be a good jumping off portion towards moving towards the Breeders' Cup?
Well, you know, like I said, I got to leave that up to the owners and Chip, you know, and we're going to talk about it and see if we can change something or whatever. But I know the coach's better than that.
All right. Thank you for your time, Calvin.
All right, sir.
Mark Allen, one of the owners of the team. Thank you for taking the time. Your opinion, is this a good jumping off point coming off that layoff from the West Virginia Derby?
Well, you know, he needed a race. I know that. We need to talk to Calvin how he handled the surface.
All right.
And some horses can handle it, some can't.
Yeah.
Goodwood winning jockey Kieran Fallon stopped by Race Day America the day after the big race.
But in yesterday's Goodwood Stakes on Gitano Hernando, did you have any moments of anxiety that you weren't going to get in the clear?
Yeah, just halfway around the turn, a horse on my inside was traveling well, and he just needed to come out, and he was, you know, there was only the room for one horse, and my little fella was game, and he wanted it badly, you know, and he put his head in there, and you know, the rest is history.
Well, Kieran, we knew there was a reason you had come out here to Southern California. You'd been riding a lot of live horses overseas, and coming out here to ride Gitano Hernando. Did you have a great sense of this horse after that one ride at Wolverhampton?
Yeah, he broke the track record at Wolverhampton, which for good horses, it doesn't usually happen. Cheap speed horses, you know, can break track records, but you don't see it happening at home that much. And for him to do what he'd done, and he'd been off for a long time as well. And Marco's done a great job with his horse, getting him back. And you know, he's going to go from strength to strength. You know, I just hope yesterday hasn't taken too much out of him before the breeders. But you know, he's with a good trainer, and he knows what he's doing.
Maybe Gitano Hernando will follow in Pleasantly Perfect's footsteps, who won the Goodwood before going on to win the 2003 Breeders' Cup Classic.
They're in the gate. And they're off in the 20th Breeders' Cup Classic. Pleasantly Perfect rolls up on the outside from fourth. And Pleasantly Perfect trying to mow them down with 100 yards to go. They're down over on the outside, and they're coming down to the finish. And it is Pleasantly Perfect. Man, oh man, Bella, what a day. Pleasantly Perfect wins by 2.
Pleasantly Perfect is very aware of his surroundings. He's very intelligent about it, but if something is different, he frets about it for a little bit until he realizes that everything's okay, and he's, you know, it's not gonna mess with his day too much. So he is a little more unique in that way. He, you know, obviously he was able to travel to Dubai and win the World Cup and handled a lot of things in his racing career that would challenge a horse that wasn't mentally ready for those kind of things. When he came here, things that sort of seemed to carry over. I think it's a different type of intelligence he has. The great ones seem to develop that, and they tend to know how to pose for a picture, and it's just something they seem to adapt to. I guess when you win the Pacific Classic, the Breeders' Cup Classic, and the Dubai World Cup, you know you've accomplished something pretty special, and he carries himself that way.
Man, oh man, Bella, what a day.
Michael Blowen was on the phone to remember another one of our favorite horses, Commentator, who now resides at Old Friends Farm.
Tell us about the acquisition of Commentator. Was this a surprise, or is this something that you had pursued for some time?
Well, I'd run into Tracy and Carol Farmer. They were having dinner with Debbie and John Oxley up at a really nice restaurant here in Midway called the Holly Hill Inn, and my wife said, "You're not going to bother them, are you?" I said, "Well, I just want to tell them that when Commentator's going to retire, we'd love to have him." So I did, but I never thought much of it. And then when they did decide to retirement, I just called Tracy up and told him, you know, I know you have a lot of people that are after you to get this great horse to their facilities. I just want you to know that he could have a home here, and we'd really adore having him here. It'd be like having Elvis. And so he did eventually come over to the farm, and he had some very nice things to say about it. And then his wife Carol came over, and she spent an hour and a half, and we had another one of those farmers' great horses, a wonderful Eclipse Award-winning mare named Hidden Lake here, and Carol got reunited with her. So I give Hidden Lake all the credit for swinging everything in our favor. And he settled in very, very nicely, I must say. He's very smart.
But I understand on October 20th, you're hosting a Jockey's Day that will also mark the official arrival of Commentator. Does this help raise funds to feed these guys?
It's huge. It's huge. And I have to say two things. One is I've got to thank Jerry and Ann Moss for everything they've done for us, because they've been spectacular, and I really hope Zenyatta runs really, really well on Saturday. And Tracy and Carol Farmer, when Tracy decided to send his horse here, it's not just the horse. Tracy's donated shares in every one of his stallions to Old Friends. And that, if all that happens and the stud fees don't go down too much, you know, that's going to be the biggest donation we've ever had in our lives.
You've actually done some good work all along, Jeff. This is your life segment, Bullet Drill. What's the first track you ever attended?
Right here at Santa Anita.
Really?
I remember it. I was this high.
What's the first bet you ever made?
Probably a losing one. I don't remember. Probably 9 years old. Because getting down early.
Everyone here at HRTV echoes my sentiments. You've been first class here at HRTV, and happy birthday.
Thank you very much. I'm getting old, but I'm hanging in there.
Well, you know what? You got a good birthday gift on the racetrack here at Oak Tree with a victory earlier in the day.
Mike Smith stopped by Race Day America to talk Zenyatta the day before the big race.
Mike, we were watching the race with you. What's it like to relive that moment in the Breeders' Cup?
It's fun just watching her, you know. I don't even really, a lot of times you go back and watch a race to see how good you looked, you know, and with her, it's it's totally opposite. I mean, I'm just in awe of her, you know. I love watching her.
You just defer all the credit?
Oh, yeah. As long as I stay on, that's the main thing. And, you know, with her, it's just getting her, you know, just to settle into that big long stride, and then asking her to run when you think it's the right time, because she'll run anytime you ask her to.
You know, there's a lot of pressure that go into each and every one of these races, and when you've got all eyes on you with a mare like this, I would assume that it's can be overwhelming at times. But now that you're going for the 13 of 13, something that Personal Ensign did and then ended up retiring, and then the chance for her to even break that mark, do you find more pressure in it? Is there just, you know, another situation like the races previous?
No, there's more pressure. Ain't it great? Man, I love it, man. That's what I
thrive on the pressure?
That's what I dream about. You know, I mean, situations like this is what I've always wanted to happen as you're a young rider coming up. I mean, you dream of, at least I dream of being in a situation like this, you know. So I'm excited. I'm ready to go. I've been fortunate. We've been doing this for a while, and I've been very blessed to have ridden some very talented horses and been in similar situations. So, I mean, experience certainly helps, and I'll just kind of take that with the ability that she has and go out there and have fun.
Zenyatta remained perfect this week with her 13th win in 13 starts.
And Mike Smith takes dead aim on the leaders and asks Zenyatta to go, and just look at her go. Zenyatta strikes the front, just playing with him here, ears going back and forth, and it's Zenyatta, lethal heat running on at the rail, but Zenyatta with condescending ease wins it only a length, but so easily.
Let's make it a lucky 13 in a row for the undefeated 5-year-old mare Zenyatta. You guys want to cheer again for the undefeated mare? Mike Smith, owners Jerry and Ann Moss. Mike, first of all, the pace in this race, exceedingly slow for a Grade 1 race. When did you make a decision to maybe try and go after Zenyatta and go after those horses in front of you?
Once we went into the final turn and everybody has to get into some sort of a position, early on when you're going that slow, if you make a move, then they can make a move on you. And so I was waiting for them to try to get their horses into position. And once they did, I'm so confident in her. And she just got an amazing turn of foot that I've never seen before. And so therefore, I can even be a little more patient. Honestly, today, I really believe, and no disrespect to any of the other horses, but she really seemed to only run about 4 jumps, and then we just geared down, you know.
How do you describe the pride and the thrill in owning a mare like this to everybody out here?
Well, to tell you the truth, we were at the Breeders' Cup when Personal Ensign won her 13th in a row. And to be considered in the same spot as that incredible horse makes us feel very humble, to tell you the truth. Personal Ensign is an amazing horse, and to equal her record makes us feel very proud.
13 for 13 with that victory in the Ladies' Secret, and there she is on her way back to the backside. Yeah.
And I don't think we're going to hear any news about which race she'll run in. Matter of fact, I wouldn't be surprised if she's not cross-entered for both races, to have a look.
More tension, more drama. Not
just for the pre-entries, but for the day itself. And, you know, it's going to be interesting to see the way that it plays out.
I hope someone stuck a television in Rachel Alexandra's stall, just to get her fired up.
Another of our favorite mares, Goldikova, went for her 4th consecutive win. Fanny Salmon was at Longchamp to cover the race.
From a majority of accounts, she is better this year. In 2009, Gary, the Prix de la Forêt was her last race before coming back here to defend her title in the Breeders' Cup Mile. And she finishes 3rd. At the very least, she gives us something to talk about.
Yeah, big upset in there. Something nobody expected to happen here. Set unbelievable early fractions here. And as you saw in last year's Breeders' Cup, she had horses in front of her. This is really not her best style of going to the front. She's drawn 14 here. And, you know, she was rushed to the front, doesn't hang on in the final strides here, runs a game race in defeat. But one thing that worries you a little bit is Freddie Head said she wasn't ready for a race like this, and you wonder how much it took out of her.
And Fanny Salmon was on site at Longchamp to take in all of the festivities on ARC weekend, including Goldikova's loss.
It was supposed to be an easy stop on the way to Santa Anita for Goldikova, but the Prix de la Forêt had a big surprise in store for us. The Breeders' Cup Mile champion was fit and fresh as she headed to the paddock, and our entourage was quite confident. Goldikova was running on 7 furlong. That's 1/8 of a mile shorter than the regular distance. And among her 13 foes, several were determined to make it a speed contest. Fast fractions and no chance to breathe before the last straight. Goldikova held on for 3rd position and left a lot of questions open.
With the Goldikova, the bad draw, completely outside, and when she starts a little bit on the bridle, and at Longchamp, the 7th furlong is not easy, completely outside.
I spoke to Freddie Ed yesterday, who confirmed that Goldikova is coming to Santa Anita. She is fine and far less affected by her defeat than her fans and her entourage.
No, yes, I'm very confident because it's not because one race is not very well, the race after is the same. Because sometimes, you know, it's just the horse, and sometimes it's really good, sometimes it's very bad, but the form for her today, she is well.
Well, you heard there from the connections of Goldikova. It is just one race. She still ran very solidly. So, Jeff, we'll see her out here in Southern California, and I have a feeling you're taking the same stance. It's just one race, and I don't think we're ready to jump off yet.
I'm not jumping off the bandwagon. Gary was right. She never got any cover. She was way on the outside. I actually thought she ran pretty well.
All right, set and ready to roll. Looks like I'm going to do this one. And there they go. To the rail, that is Bar JF Cali. Bar JF Cali going to the lead. There comes Bar JF JJ with about a neck on the 4. Bar JF Flying J. So far it's a Bar JF theme. 3-horse Bar JF JJ on into the rail is the 2 baby sister, but it's going to be Bar JF JJ. Bar JF JJ. It is tight between the 3. Bar JF JJ and the 4. Bar JF Flying J. Graduated from the wiener dogs to the mules. Maybe someday I'll get a thoroughbred race.
Why not, Peter Lorre calling it?
Why not?
I'll lobby for that.
From the mules to the moose, Alex Solis Jr. was on set to talk about the Pomple-Moose's return to Kanani's barn.
And there's been recent news that the Pomple-Moose has been in Julio Kanani's barn. What is his status right now?
The Pomple-Moose is at Julio's barn right now. He is basically just hanging out, getting back to the track kind of. Just gonna probably be here for another month, and then he'll go back out to a farm, and he's gonna start swimming, and hopefully we'll have him back at the end of the year, back in the barn. Hopefully January, February then, and hopefully back ready to run right before Del Mar.
You know, Alex, when you got as many horses now as that you're developing as an agent, and a horse like the Pomple-Moose, do you feel any extra added pressure when a horse is coming back after what they accomplished prior, as they're coming back now? Do you feel any pressure?
To be honest, no. He's paid for himself already. They had a great ride. He's just a joy to be around. And if he comes back, he comes back. If not, he'll be a stallion later on. And we really enjoyed it and had a great time. And everyone needs to realize that.
That's a great philosophy.
What's the point of having him here at the track for a month and then sending him back to the farm? Why here?
You know, Julio and I sat down one day, and Julio said, I'd like to bring him back. We went and saw him. And he was a little light, and just bring him back to the track. And he was a little ornery, actually. And
Julio or the Pomple-Moose?
The Pomple-Moose, actually. Well, Julio's always on it. So we decided to bring him back to the track, put a little weight on him, and give him as many carrots as he wanted, and he's happy as heck now. So
he just loves the attention.
Exactly, that's what he needs.
Interesting.
Zoe Cadman stopped by the Baffert barn this week for an HRTV diary, a Norfolk winner looking at Lucky.
This is the Baffert barn. Looking at Lucky.
Oh, yeah, I got it.
And Sarah.
Say hi.
Hi, Lucky. Oh, cute. True love. This is wrestling in the Baffert barn at its best. This is me on Teddy on the way to the track. We're going to see who we can find and look. Looking at Lucky. Teddy might make a very good camera horse.
Looking at Lucky, baby.
I hope we're looking at Lucky tomorrow. I hope I'm still saying this on Monday.
Okay, we're going to get a shot of looking at Lucky galloping the day before he wins. There he goes. Hi, Lucky boy. Do you feel like a multiple graded stakes winner? We're not quite sure about the carrot yet. I think he's more of a mint horse.
And looking at Lucky, all horses won the Norfolk.
We had a big day yesterday.
Big weekend.
Big weekend. Looking at Lucky. Ran awesome.
Look who I found at the top of the grand staircase. None other than Bob Baffert. This is apparently how you train Group 1 winners. Where's your walkie-talkie?
You got it right here, honey. Right here.
And looking at Lucky?
Looking at Lucky, he's keep staying lucky. That's good.
Now when you win a Grade 1 race, you get molasses cupcake with a mint in. You're a lucky boy, Lucky.
Gio Ponte doesn't win tomorrow, I will buy you a Snuggie.
Gio Ponte has lost the lead to Interpretation, who runs a remarkable race to win the Joe Hirsch.
So never say I'm not a man of my word. Christophe Clement, if you're watching, or Ramon Dominguez, you each owe me $7.50 because for $15, I had to get myself one of these, and now I hand it to you. Don't ever say I don't welch on my bet.
Thank you very much.
Put it to good use.
Right.
As advertised on TV.
That is right. And Hoops the cat thanks you as well, because he'll be
I didn't get. That's for you, not the animal.
Oh, okay.
So either you watch it in the comfort of your own home and watch television, or you can go as like a druid on Halloween.
I mean, how do you put this thing on? It looks like a big something or other. I don't know.
When we go to,
I'll take a picture.
When we go to Kentucky in the spring,
right?
Bring it with you.
I will. Okay.
Fanny Salmon was busy this week, covering all the races at Longchamp, including the Prix de l'Arc de Triomphe, featuring See the Stars.
A lot has been said and a lot has been written about the 88th edition of the Qatar Prix de l'Arc de Triomphe. There were 49,000 people on hand to see a star. They were in for a treat. See the Stars arrived Saturday afternoon, and it didn't take long for him to settle in well. He's used to having a lot of attention, and he's not one of these horses who gets bothered by a lot. It was a lot harder, I have to say, for his trainer, John Ox. The quiet man remained his composure, but he had to deal with a lot of pressure. You see the Stars is not just the best-rated colt in Europe. A colt who's on a roll after winning 6 consecutive Group 1s, including the Guineas and the Epsom Derby. See the Stars is the son of Urban C, and to the French public that means a lot. Urban C won the 1993 Arc. She was trained by Jean Espord, and she was the best filly, the best mare he ever trained. As a broodmare, Urban C produced 6 stakes winners, including Galileo and My Typhoon. She died this spring after giving birth to her last foal, a colt her connections named Reborn. No need to say there was a huge sense of legacy as See the Stars was preparing for the best tribute ever. The horse of a lifetime, a quick but powerful statement by Mick Kinnan, who at 50 scored his 3rd Arc win. A horse of a lifetime for 27-year-old owner Christopher Tsui, the youngest ever to win the Arc. It was Christopher's 2nd visit to Longchamp. The first one was 16 years ago when he saw Urban C won the Arc, sporting the colors of his father. But it's all a family affair. See the Stars is a family horse. Christopher's refers to See the Stars as our family's horse, a horse who is not for sale. You don't sell a member of your family. Now I promise this is the kiss from the HRTV crew to See the Stars. There you go.
The boys from the Edge turned this week's Pick 6 into a Pick 4, with 2 winning singles.
Your single for the Pick 6 on Saturday.
Well, this is about as easy as it gets because win or lose, and she has never lost yet.
Excellent news. Yes, she's going to be short. She's drawn outside. She's fast. I hope she can rate a little bit. She jammed back in 14 days and still ran a good second last time out. Excellent news is the single in race number 5.
You know I'm going to zig when everybody zags, right? No, right. I'm going to go Zenyatta as a Pick 6 single.
All right.
At 2 to 5.
I'm clapping.
Now, wait a minute. I want to say this. It is a Pick 6. It is a Pick 6.
That's right.
And you just made it a Pick 5. I'm not telling you Zenyatta is a good bet.
That's right.
I'm saying Zenyatta is a good single. Use her as a single and go deeper in other legs because this is
proud
a good
of you.
That's all for HRTV this week. Here's what you can look forward to next week.
Hey, remember I told you that they weren't going to be able to show the Belmont feed?
Oh, yeah. I heard the same thing.
I lied. 9 minutes to go. Welcome back. They got it fixed. All I can say is way to go, Belmont, for getting this going so we could get them back on the air.
Exactly.
That just went away.
Oh,
See?
Isn't that great?
You congratulate them, and it goes away.
Yeah. Just dangling the carrot. Now you see it, now you don't.
Is that going to make the rewind wheel? Probably.